He has probably a better temperament anyway, because I don't know if I could be that chill all the time. I'm strung up, man. My nerves are everywhere. I couldn't be as calm as that man.
You're a gamer, man.
That man's a treasure.
You're a gamer. Listen. I love Bob Ross. We love Bob Ross here on Let's Be Best Friends. But I will say, never won a game of Fortnite in his life. All right, no number one victory royales for Bob Ross.
Let's be best friends.
Hello, I'm Cole Sauer, and welcome to Let's Be Best Friends, a podcast where I talk to people that I barely know and try and convince them to be my new best friends, because in times like these, who needs enemies? My guest today is an incredibly talented digital artist and the merchandise coordinator for Panda Global. It's Mr. Justin Wharton.
Thank you for having me on, Cole.
Thank you for being here.
I really appreciate it.
Hello.
I didn't know this was your way of gaining friends.
This is.
But I do.
That's all this is.
I am about it. I am very much about it.
It is a very thinly veiled attempt, not only to stroke my own ego, as every other podcast on the world is. It is also so I can sneak my way into friend circles.
Yeah, no. That's a given. That's podcasting. So no, I don't blame you at all for that.
Yeah,
I understand that.
I'm checking all the boxes. I'm streaming it. It goes on podcast networks. I use it for clout. I'm checking as many boxes as I can at all times.
Yep, that is the way to go. Absolutely. And I just want to make sure you're only seeing my Photoshop window, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. Good.
No leaks. Do not worry.
Yes, I didn't realize I had notifications on, and I'm like, oh, that would not be good. All right.
That is how you get canceled.
That's how you lose a job.
Yeah,
but,
I think canceled is just the Zoomer way of saying losing a job, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that, absolutely.
As far as I understand it. I'm slowly learning how to speak Zoomer by proxy of streaming on Twitch. It is.
It's hard. I'm 22, and I'm having a hard time keeping up. And people would consider me a Zoomer, and I'm scared.
I think that's the main thing about it, is that it's so hard to keep up with. I feel like Zoomer slang moves at a rate that is the velocity of Zoomer slang is insane.
Can you imagine what leet talk must have looked like to someone who's never gone on the like internet before, and they saw people talking with numbers? Like, yeah, every generation's going to have that issue. It's just getting shorter and shorter, it feels like.
That's what I mean. I feel like leet speak existed for such a solid amount of time. Like, I feel like leet speak is still happening, but now I say yeet and the Zoomers make fun of me. And I feel like yeet was around a year ago.
You can't say yeet anymore. That's been dead for, that was a good 6 months. Like, you're using yeet after its meme potential, dude. That's cringe.
That's cringe.
You can't do that. Yeah, no, I'm having a hard time keeping up too, and I'm young, so it's definitely hard.
Do you have the same problem? Because I have this problem where ever since I started streaming on Twitch, it all bleeds together into my normal language. So now I'm starting to say cringe in real life, and that is a problem. That's an issue.
Yeah, cringe is a hard one. I don't like to do it. I watch only very select streamers, and the ones that I do watch, I never partake in chat. I'm terrible. But
you're a filthy lurker.
I'm just a lurker. And when I did stream, I didn't really use a lot of that language, and a lot of the people that did go into my chat and stuff didn't use that language. So I never saw it really bleed into my my language. But if I definitely, like, I'm terrible with Discord too. If I use Discord and everything, I'm sure it would bleed into my normal language. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think that's just communication.
Yeah, it's one of those things, right? It's like social. It's like social symbiosis or something. I think that word means what I think it means. It's like, your friend says this. If your friends say weird shit enough, then eventually you'll start saying it.
I'm about to give some of your podcasters you can't see, but I did the artist sin of drawing on my background layer, and we're about to do a little walkthrough on how to fix it for you guys.
Bless. Amazing.
So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up our curves, bump that all the way up and that all the way down. Actually, it's the opposite way. No, it's not. And so we're going to do this. you're going to at least this will work with Photoshop. You're going to double click this over here, and you're going to pull all of the light out of it. Like so. You're going to come over here, fill this in, and now make a new layer, come over here, and merge it down. And next thing you know, you fixed your background layer.
You know, I can tell you've been doing art for a long time, not only because you know this super handy trick, but I can just hear you doing keyboard shortcuts.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how I know someone's been doing it a long time.
I've been doing it for high school freshman, younger than freshman. I've been doing digital stuff for a very long time.
Yeah.
But it's habit. Actually, I tried to use Clip Studio Paint, a different program recently, and it's I didn't realize that my hands move on their own at this point. It's bad. And what's worse is that my hands are my keybinds aren't standard.
Okay.
Meaning if I like my system reboots, like I've had it happen once where it cleared my settings, or I start fresh, I won't know I'm missing something or missing a keyboard shortcut until I go to do it, and then I have to fix it there, and it's just like all ingrained, and I can't like beat it for the life of me, even or like learn something new. It's hard. It's super hard.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the funny thing about digital art too is that like when you're doing physical art, a lot of it comes from learning like brush strokes and pressure and stuff like that. Digital art is learning like how to customize your workspaces and how to like, learning your little shortcuts and stuff like that.
Yeah, and a lot of it's just getting comfortable. Like it's really comfortable to sketch on paper, but like until I started using. So how I started actually was I put paper over top my tablet when I first started because to make it feel. I went through so many nibs. Yeah, but like it is the feeling's completely different, and on top of that, like I didn't even like a lot of my sketching until I found the proper like pen setting, and it's just stuff like that that's just like it's ridiculous that it's just getting comfortable with it, honestly. So
it's the little minutia that people don't realize. I think that's true about any kind of art, but especially because I think digital art is something that's so like foreign to so many people, you know what I mean? Yeah,
it is. And it's and like when I'm telling new artists that do traditional stuff all the time, when they're trying to make the jump, they're like, I don't understand it. It's hard. They quit. Some of them quit on it. The thing is, there's like a 3-month learning curve.
Yeah.
For even getting comfortable with doing this kind of stuff. And like you're just gonna like it's gonna feel awkward until it's not. Sadly. Yeah.
So have you always been into art? Have you just been an art guy your whole life, or what kind of got the ball rolling for you?
Yeah. I've been, a kid. I had crayons. No,
I was a child too as well.
I was a child at one point. No. So I've been doing this since I could remember, but I only started taking it seriously in high school when I realized that I could actually I saw others doing it for a living, and I was just like, I might be able to do that.
Yeah.
And that really got the ball rolling for me. I was just like, you know what? Actually, this is something that I would really like to do with my life. And it's kind of scary as a parent seeing your child go, hey, I'm going to be an artist. And they're like, oh no. But my parents actually were very supportive.
That's good.
Mostly because I kept my grades up and actually tried to seem balanced. It was this, or it was chemistry. Actually, I was really into chemistry, but don't ask me any chemistry questions. I haven't been into it for a very long time.
Could not ask you if I tried.
But I realized you have to be good at math to be good at chemistry.
I failed chemistry twice. Can I tell you that?
Yeah, you can tell me that.
I was not good at it.
after I was told, hey, you kind of have to be good at math, I was just like, okay, this isn't the career for me because I actually handle a lot of math in my day-to-day life now, but that kind of math is completely different. I can understand looking at a graph and telling statistics and numbers and sales revenue and all that, but you hand me like anything that involves me plotting a graph, I'm like, dude, no, I'm going to go hire someone to do this for me, or I'm going to go like not do it. I'm sorry. That's how it goes.
I'm gonna put it off until I can't anymore, and then I'm just gonna apologize and give up on it. Like that's
something like that. When it gets to that level, I'm just gonna say, hey, I'm underqualified. You better hire someone to do this math for us, like that. Or I'm going to, out of my personal, I don't know. It'll get done, but I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you are asking the wrong person.
Yeah.
If you need something drawn, if you need to answer basic chemistry questions, I'm your guy. Beyond that, I got nothing for you.
Beyond that, I'm pretty much dead weight when it comes to finding anything like that.
I think it's funny I always think it's really interesting to see kind of what other passions that artists have, because artists, everyone knows artists as these like super passionate people who are, you gotta, especially when you do it professionally, like you need to be passionate about it, because otherwise you're just gonna burn out and you're gonna feel like shit all the time.
Absolutely. Art is not even though I think it's really dangerous because social media has warped it, art is not the fast, quick environment. My art is, because I've trained myself with shortcuts and everything. And I'm going to be honest, I work fast and do things, but I'm not also putting out Da Vinci level work. And my following knows that, and I know that. But it's a slow game. Some people spend upwards of 30 to like 80 hours on a single piece. All those Magic the Gathering guys, I would pull my hair out.
Oh my
if
God,
I spent that long on a piece. I would lose my mind. So they definitely have something going for them. They work different. But it is definitely not a quick game, And so you have to love it. You have to love it to some level, but also it's good to have other interests, because you have to have stuff to draw upon. Absolutely. Right. My favorite thing I learned recently was Miyamoto. He would only hire people to Nintendo for getting for people that were interested. Not only hire, sorry. He would prefer people with different talents. So if you go horseback riding and you apparently you're really into it, he would hire you over someone else, or so it's said.
Interesting.
Because you had interests in other things.
Yeah, you had like very specific things.
You can pull upon inspiration from other things.
Interesting.
Which was really neat to hear about. So it's definitely good. And also, my advice when people get burnt out is I tell them to go do something else. Go literally
touch
read a book
and come back.
Go touch grass. Go read a book. Go get excited about something else.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about art is, for the most part, you'll always come back to it.
Yeah, I was going to say it'll be there. Like.
yeah. Now that's not saying like I've pushed through burnout because I've had to for work and whatnot. Like when I was doing freelance majorly. You have to. You can't just say, "Oh, I won't do it."
Yeah.
But when it comes to like the fatigue and everything, that's the best thing to do for it, is to say, "Hey, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to go get interested in something else." Draw upon inspiration,
right?
And because you can sit in a room all you want, and you won't get that little spark that's needed sometimes.
So what did you do, especially in the beginning? Because in the beginning, as far as I know, you were just on Twitter grinding. Like you were just putting up pictures and being like, yo, check out my fucking art. I'm dope. Retweet this, for the love of God.
So before that, I was doing Game of Thrones portraits. I was actually a realism painter. Well, nice. I loved it, but no one else did. So I was a realism painter in the very beginning, and that's kind of how I started. And I got really burnt out, which is why I started doing the vaporwave stuff. But I one of the vaporwave things. I posted it on Melee Hell, and I was expecting a lot of backlash, but they were actually really supportive and like insanely supportive, and they helped me get to where I'm at right now. And then I started posting on Twitter, and I really just kept the grind going. A lot of figureheads really helped me out, like the Scar and Toph show, and a lot of players. The community itself, we have an amazing community when it comes to that kind of stuff. They're very, very supportive, and we're probably because we're very grassroots, but
yeah, it's I find, especially when it comes to like art and stuff, I feel like the Smash community has many faults, many faults, but they are very good about being like, yo, check out this really dope artist. Like, don't wipe out the watermark. Like, go buy posters.
They're very supportive, and it's something that's very. Yeah, we're really good about that, and it makes me happy. I wouldn't be here without the support of the community at all. And that kind of led to me doing apparel, and because I was doing all the art and I put it on shirts and stuff, but I wanted to do more. I wanted to make apparel that was meant to be apparel, right? And the community supported that as well. So I'm really thankful for this community, waterworks aside and whatnot.
Yeah, I think it's funny, one of those things that like it is such a double-edged sword, because like even I go like, I love being in the Smash community. I love talking to Smashers. I love going to tournaments. I miss tournaments, like all these kinds of things. But then other things happen within the community, or like outside of the community comes into it, and you're just like,
Well, I don't think that's so much a community thing. I think because I'm in other parts of different communities as well, so you need to understand. I think it's social media has a way of making extremes.
Right. Okay.
And no matter which community you're in, may it be, artists, may it be Magic, may it be video games, may it be something, Pokemon, whatever. You always have these extremes, and websites like Twitter or something is a very volatile and very fast-paced thing.
Right.
People, I'm going to be honest with you, the written text, at least English language, because that's what I write and speak, is not good for conveying meaning in certain aspects. So you could be the most well-meaning person in the universe and still be portrayed, or someone may misunderstand your true intent because you had a wrong choice of words. Right. And I'm not saying you're a vile person, or maybe you are, and you deserve the hate, but Twitter does that thing where it can wind your words up, and people, the cool thing is they can pull out what they want to hear from what you write. And so I don't think it's so much a byproduct of the community. I think it's a byproduct of the platform the community's on at the moment that is creating these hostile interactions.
Do you think social media has actually been a net positive for, I'll say specifically online communities? Because I feel like we used to all just have our own forum boards, and everyone was in their own little corners of the internet, and we all did interact. And now we're all on Twitter.
I wouldn't be here. What Justin, as an artist, would be doing right now is painting mountains in acrylic, because they kicked me out. They told me they didn't want me in the guild because I did digital art. So yes, I would not have my job. I wouldn't have my friends. I wouldn't have a lot of things without social media. Social media is a phenomenal tool. It's very powerful, and it's a double-edged sword for certain things.
Right. I love the idea of there's the two timelines of Justin Wharton. Is the timeline we're currently in, working in esports, doing digital art, killing it, and the other one, you become Bob Ross.
Yeah, there's two. I grew my hair out. It doesn't do the Bob Ross thing. It does more of like a mane, but yeah, he's out there somewhere. He might be in this one too. I might have a doppelganger that decided to be Bob Ross. Who knows?
Mountain Justin somewhere in Alaska.
He has probably a better temperament anyway, because I don't know if I could be that chill all the time. I'm strung up, man. My nerves are everywhere. I couldn't be as calm as that man.
You're a gamer, man.
That man's a treasure.
You're a gamer. Listen. I love Bob Ross. We love Bob Ross here on Let's Be Best Friends. But I will say, never won a game of Fortnite in his life. All right, no number one victory royales for Bob Ross.
Oh man, you're calling him a normie. Oh no,
he's a little normie.
You just called Bob Ross a normie. Damn.
Just a
bit. Yeah, no. So when it comes to that kind of stuff, and if I don't know who may hear this or what, if they've been following me for a while, they know I've given this talk about social media and what I believe it does and how it works many times, and how not just hostile, but how it affects things. Like it's shortened the attention span of art 100-fold.
Okay.
An art piece lives on Twitter for only 24 hours. In the past, on a blog or like Tumblr or something, I'm still getting likes, and I haven't been on Tumblr in years. I just looked at it.
Yeah.
I'm still getting likes from posts 6 years ago.
Right.
I don't know how, but it's more of an archival thing, which is why I have my own website.
Right.
I don't keep it up to date that well, but it's an archival thing.
Yeah.
Twitter's not good.
Twitter's not good. Justin Wharton, 2021.
Yeah, just cut it right there. No. Twitter's not good for art, but the artists are there because the people are there. Right.
You go where the people are.
That's how it is. And you have to work with the system you're given,
right? Sadly.
But it's just the way it is, but it's caused this kind of burnout effect for people.
Right.
We have a dude, I don't know if he worked ahead of time, but he did a piece of art every single day for the Smash characters. That's 81 drawings, 81 full completed pieces of work a day.
Jesus.
I did the 24 Smash characters every other day when I was first starting, and I thought that was murder.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I remember you did something similar.
I'm doing something similar right now, but they're all reposts.
Right.
It took 4 years for me to do 81 paintings. I've done more. I've done over 400, but for Smash in general, it took me 4 years because I got burnout, got a job, life in general.
Yeah, of course.
I can't. So it's created this, like it or not, monster where you have to be consistent. And nothing against the dude. What I'm saying is what he's doing is crazy good and crazy insane.
Yeah.
But it's creating this thought process that you have to do that to be successful.
Right.
And that's hard. And it's not his fault. He's working with the system. This is nothing against the artists. This is they are adapting and being products of the environment, but the environment can be hostile to not only the artist's well-being, but the artist's mentality too. My painting didn't get over 1,000 likes. It's a failure of a painting.
Right.
That's never existed before. That's insane to think about. And so, it's the social media / Twitter has done, I think, irreparable damage plus good. And we're going to see it in the coming years, see what happens with it.
So how did you kind of figure the system out? Because I mean, obviously it helps being in a community, right? Like we were talking about, being in the Smash community obviously helps because there's those community members who will repost your stuff and things like that, get you noticed. But like you're saying with Twitter, it's such a it's flash focus. It's flash focus media. It's popcorn media.
And it used to not be. The thing is, the algorithm changes all the time. It's like YouTube.
Right.
You never know what's going to be popular. Maybe it's icebergs one day, or maybe it's, a water bucket challenge. You never know.
Maybe it's a big ass boat. You never know.
Yeah. Or maybe it's gaming content. All of a sudden, gaming content's not good anymore. You have to have a podcast.
Right.
Or maybe it's not a podcast. Maybe you have to do live reactions. It's always changing and evolving. I just so happened to pick up that constant work and constant uploads was good. When I first started, that wasn't the case. When I first started, when you added someone, and you tried to get their attention, it was easier.
Yeah.
Right now, Twitter hides. If you have an @ or a link in your initial post, it hides it. So I was just going around. So just heads up, you want to post in the comments underneath.
Shit.
When you post a link. Yeah. You're welcome.
Good to know.
But social media lesson 101. But yeah, Twitter's algorithm's not kind to links.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started, I painted all these players and everything. So and they were very nice to retweet it. And it was just more of a social media thing.
Mm-hmm.
I did paintings of them and I asked if they could retweet it, or I just added them. In that environment, it worked. I don't know if that works anymore.
Right.
What works right now is consistency.
Right.
And maybe in the future, it's not going to be consistency. Maybe it's going to be a viral tweets.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you only can do virals, which means we'll get more meme art in the long run.
I don't know. I think you're right, honestly. I hope it's not that.
It's already moving that way from my predictions, but I can't tell. If you don't interact with someone a lot, it seems that it's showing it less and less.
Interesting.
I haven't done numbers on it. It's only a gut feeling check, but I don't know what they're always doing something under the hood.
True.
You always have to adapt.
Yeah.
Luckily now I'm doing things where I can. Panda has put me in a position where I can now work on art that really means a lot to me, and I can work at my own pace now. And that's been really good on my mental. Before I got signed, I actually was dealing with the worst burnout of my life.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's been really good, and I'm really thankful for that. And it's but I can't imagine trying to keep up right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, imagine starting a podcast during a pandemic when everyone else started a podcast and not really knowing how social media works. That would be cringe. Anyway,
it's hard, but podcasts are a consistent thing too. So it's you're gonna podcasts are great too, because if you're always having other people on promoting it, it's gonna get new eyes on it. So you are doing something right. At least I don't know much about podcasts, but I'm gonna tell you from what I know, it's good exposure. In
my heart and soul, I don't believe anyone knows anything about podcasts. Like, even I think the most successful podcasters, it's such a young media. I think everyone who is successful just kind of binked it. Not that they didn't do hard work, obviously. I'm not trying to discredit anybody, but everyone
absolutely
binked it in their own way, and then they all write books about how they binked it, and they even I don't know. We were talking before the show started about the my brother and me guys, and I got their book, and their book. Basically, it's a very good book. Everyone should actually go check it out, especially if you're into content creation.
You should start a podcast, right?
Everybody has a podcast but you, I think is the
Everybody
title.
has a podcast but you, yeah.
It's a great title. But even in there, the basic summary of it is this is kind of how we did it. No idea if that shit works anymore. Here's how microphones work.
Here's how microphones work, which is great. Yes, because I used to tell people that how I did it, and I thought that's how it might still work, but now I know how the algorithm is kind of changing and doing stuff. It's hard to recommend when it comes to that kind of stuff anymore. It's so hard.
Yeah.
I couldn't give advice on how to. Yeah. Basically, all I can tell you is keep up to date with how social media is working. Become your own social media manager. Which is hard, which is very hard, but. I'm even about to start paying my fiance to handle my Instagram because I can't even handle it anymore.
That's so smart. I honestly, I wish. I always said, since the beginning, I was the first person I hire when I start making money is social media manager. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I can do everything else. I cannot tweet something funny and post a good picture every day. I can't. I'm not good enough at it.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's hard, and it adds, like you say. I'm sure you can speak to it. It adds to the burnout, because especially when you're trying to think of something either funny or creative or algorithm catching every day. Like that, and if your tweet gets less than 5 likes, you're delete. Well, fuck, I guess I'm done. You know what I mean?
And then on top of that, you're trying to figure out all the other stuff that's going on. So on top of me working 8 hours a day, on art, all of a sudden, I have to figure out what the best algorithm times are, what I'm saying or what I'm doing. And it does wear you down.
Yeah. And then you got to learn about this big fucking boat so you can make a joke out of it. Like it's impossible to keep up with.
Yeah. You just gotta stay on top of everything. It's hard.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So let me talk to you about this. From within reason, tell me a little bit about the panda thing. Because I for one, not to blow smoke up your ass or anything, but I've been following for a really long time. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, holy shit, that's awesome. Like,
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes of what everyone was seeing. I was actually crash coursing and taking community college lessons and actually how to do accounting and a lot of design, not just like apparel design work. And it wasn't stuff that I posted or shared or anything, but it was stuff I was actually actively working on in the background. And the opportunity opened up and I applied, and I've always been supportive of Panda because Panda's been very supportive of me. We've done collaborations and stuff in the past. And I found myself, they opened the job opportunity up. I did the interviews and everything, and it seemed like a good fit.
Right.
And so it's been very, very fulfilling. It's been very drastically different from my ordinary life or my past work. My past work was so fast paced. I would wake up 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock every day, work 4 to 6 hours and post a painting.
Right.
And that's intensive burnout, intensive work.
Yeah.
I do the same thing, but it's different because I can fine tune my work. I don't have to have it completely done. I can work on multiple things. I'm working in 2022 right now. As well, because that's the nature of apparel. Right. I've worked on things that and things that are done that people aren't going to see till the end of the year. Right. And that's rewarding in itself. Not just that, I work with another great artist and my lead, the leader of the team, who are great at feedback. I'm learning something new every single day. So Panda's been nothing but great for me, and great for me as in both, helping me with the pandemic because I can't travel and sell art anymore, but also great for me mentally wise. This is the first time I've been able to create super meaningful art for myself that with doing trying to make a painting every day that would make impressions, I wasn't able to do. Right.
So what was the shift like for you then? Because again, it's a totally different mindset, right? Like rather than
it was hard.
Being a day by day thing of like that, you're trying to get like the new Smash character, like you gotta paint it because the Nintendo Direct's tomorrow. It's gotta be ready for the Nintendo Direct. Whereas now it's more project based. It sounds like.
Yeah, and there's some days where I don't even paint, which is crazy. And really, I feel guilty for doing it, but that's now I fill multiple roles. So I'm doing a lot of different things throughout the day. So sometimes art is just me working on my personal stuff. And it was very drastic change. And it's been nothing but good. Because I realized I was burning myself out. The amount of work and or the speed that I was working was unhealthy. Right. Because when I actually lined it up with other people's work, I realized I was like, oh, I'm killing myself. Yeah. I'm actually killing myself. Yeah. That's not normal. Yeah. I thought it was normal, but it's not. And so I'm learning healthy work habits, and that's good. I will be able to work longer, and longer as in my life will be longer. Yeah. So I will be able to work longer.
Well, it's another thing. It's another aspect of social media, like we're talking about, is the grind culture, right? Like you say, the way to catch almost any algorithm right now is consistency. So you always got to be making, new painting, new video, new this, new that. Like
it's almost impossible for a single individual. That's why you have a social media team. Because they're able to keep up with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is definitely hard. And so, yeah.
Do you think so going back to the beginning, do you think that the way that you started out before, do you think that you would be as successful if you had started now? Or has it changed so much that it's like a completely different beast?
It's time. So to be very real, people see this one individual that has overnight blew up, right? And they're like, why does he have 80,000 followers? Or, oh, they made Bowsette, so they are automatically famous right off the bat.
Right.
Social media is there's one in 100,000 people that happens to.
Right.
I've been on Twitter and I just hit 22,000 or something like that after 4 years of constant work. It's not overnight at all.
Right.
And I think that there's a lot of people that have that misunderstanding that, it just happens.
Right.
And sure, it happens to some people, but it's not normal and it's not usual. So, do I think if I started now, I'd probably be where I'm at now in 4 years.
Right.
I would just have to adapt differently. And the internet's always been that kind of beast, So, I think I think starting anytime's fine. It's a different game.
So do you think it would have been roughly the same trajectory then? Like I find it interesting, like you say, especially again when we're talking about like a digital medium, we're talking about digital art, and even just in the Smash community, like I don't know how much this impacted you, but I feel like it kind of worked out timing wise because I feel like you were starting to pick up heat, and then Ultimate, was coming out.
Oh yeah, Ultimate did come out, and that did help with the growth. But the thing is, if you look at the timeline, if someone started now, they'd be probably getting a new Smash game in 3 years, like I did.
I guess that's a good point. Yeah.
So, if there is a new Smash game, if there's not a new Smash game, then I'm going to say, yeah, that sucks. It's going to be a little bit harder for you.
If you want to get in the Vaporwave Smash character portrait game, you're a little late, but it's possible is what I'm hearing.
You may be a little late if there's not another Smash game.
Right.
But I think there will be, or there's enough DLC coming out that you're going to be fine.
Yeah. So here's a good question, actually, that I was really curious about. So you are famous, in my opinion, for being the guy who always is ready with the next character. Like I was saying, the Nintendo Direct happens, and it's like, boom, Sephiroth is out. Check Twitter. Justin Wharton's got a Vaporwave Sephiroth ready to go. Do you just paint a shitload of characters just in hopes you'll bink a Nintendo Direct, or like? How does it work for you? Like, what's that process like?
So, sometimes I get lucky. I've only gotten lucky once, and that was with Banjo. And there was a leak, and the leak was the Castlevania leak. Okay. So I did get lucky those 2 times. Most of the time what happens is I wake up in the morning. I normally do sketches of characters that I think are possible. Or are really up there. And those I have like 30 of those actually built up, but in the archives or whatever you want to call them,
in a folder linked "Do Not Touch," definitely porn, so no one will see it.
Yeah, something like that. But I keep them. So I do that, but I basically paint the background.
Okay.
And then I work from there. So I wake up in the morning. Oh, it's not who I guess it was. And I just start working.
Right.
And my process, I've gotten it down to where I can get something done. If it's not a anime character, like, like the last 2.
Right.
I could get it done within like 2 to 3 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Because I've already had the background done.
Right. And I mean, you've been doing it for so long as well, right? Like,
yeah. And so that's the process there. It's just working fast. I've only gotten lucky once with guessing.
So did you legit just guess banjo? Like you just had a banjo ready to go and then banjo happened and you were like, fuck boom, tweeted.
I had banjo. I finished banjo the night before and I just so happened to, banjo was correct. And I was like, oh yeah, sick. I'd take that W.
Take those. We take those every day.
Yeah, we take those. And that was like one of my best performing new paintings because I did it right away.
Right. Yeah. Do you ever go comb through like the predictions and dirt sheets and kind of just like pick out ones that you're like, oh, maybe these ones? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I normally keep a pulse on the community to see what everyone's talking about or see what everyone's thinking. And if it's something that I think's viable, like I didn't paint Steve, but I was pretty like, yeah, Steve probably will happen.
Right.
Or probably could and will happen. So having that on the back burner is good. So actually, I had the background set up for Steve beforehand.
What was your reaction to Steve? I want to know. I'm always curious because I feel like there was a divide. I thought it was incredibly funny.
It was good. Come on. Minecraft here. I'm going to say this real quick so I don't keep habitually doing that. I don't even know if you can see the pop-up window, but incredibly good. And you know, it's Minecraft is the #1 selling game in the world.
Really?
Of all time.
It
Of
beat
the world.
Wii Sports?
Yeah.
I'm pissed.
Oh yeah.
I'm heated.
So Of course, you're going to want representation from in the game that premieres all the biggest names to have some representative of Minecraft. Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, I wasn't shocked by it. I thought it was insanely funny, mostly from the people that were heated about it. But,
yeah, people were upset online, and I was.
Not as much as what was it, Byleth? People
hated Byleth. That was crazy.
That got a lot of heat. That was pretty crazy.
People were capital U upset at Byleth.
Yeah, they were very upset. So I don't know. I thought it was great, and I was excited for it. I haven't played the game in a while. Ultimate. I've been playing a lot of Melee, but I haven't played against this Steve to make me upset yet. So
the first day Steve came out, I haven't played since Steve came out. That was the last time I played Ultimate because I thought it was so funny. I was like, all right, I like downloaded him, booted up stream and was like, let's just get drunk and play Ultimate. I'm going to play Steve all day. This is going to be great. And it was. I'll say it. In that beautiful moment, I was like, Ultimate's the greatest video game that's ever made by human beings. Yeah. And then I played for more than 2 hours and I was like, nah, Melee.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes.
What was your connection to the Smash scene like before you started doing art? Like was it like you drew Smash characters kind of to get a few more eyes, or was it like you were already playing the game a bunch and maybe going to tournaments and stuff like that?
I watched a lot of streams, and so I watched Evo 2016, I believe. The numbers are very important because Melee made it back in a certain year, but I believe it was
the
2016.
HBox one or the Armada one?
I think it was HBox. Oh no, I think
it was 2016.
Yeah, I think it was 2016.
The big HBox like rolling on the stage and crying one was 2016.
Yeah. So, whichever one had PPMD, because that's, I believe PPMD was there. That because I saw PPMD play and I was just like, oh my god, this is different. This is not League. This is not Dota. This is not CS:GO. This is nothing I've ever seen.
Right.
This is volatile. This is electric, and that really what started. And then I picked up Luigi, so that wasn't the smartest move. So there was a disconnect somewhere.
I love the idea that you see your life is changed by like one of the most technical, fast-paced Falcos of all time, and you're like, but you can shore you fuckers. I'm there.
So I main Falco now. I learned very fast that Luigi is middle at best. And I started really watching and practicing with my brother. We live pretty far away from any locals, so it was hard to make it to anything. We had to go to a regionals to at least make it worth traveling out. So I started doing those, and then I started painting the players.
Okay.
So I painted, I believe, Mango first, and I just worked my way through the gods and whatnot. And that was really my introduction. So I was part of the community before I started doing the characters.
So, I gotta know. Okay, I gotta know how I'm being informed that PPMD would have been 2015. Thank you, chat. I have to know how you go from something like watching Falco or even PPMD, either Falco or Marth, and then you go to was Luigi just the character that you just gravitated towards, or?
I learned how to wave dash with Luigi.
Oh God, your first wave dash is always such a nice feeling.
So I learned how to do it, and then I watched Eddie Mexico, and I'm like, oh, I want to move like Eddie Mexico. That's pretty sweet. And then I had a fateful encounter at a regional with a really great player. He's not playing at the moment, and I hope he's doing really good. Fat Goku, Steven. He wave shined me 8 times and killed me 8 times. I literally did not get a single input in, I believe, that whole entire game. And I said, what do I do? And in Steven's great advice, he looks over to young Justin and he says, play a top tier. And it broke my Luigi soul.
Oh God, the moment I think that's a turning point in every mid-tier hero's life where the first time you ever get absolutely shit on by a top tier character.
Not just a top tier character. At that point, Fat Goku was, I believe, top 30.
Yeah.
So not just a top tier character, a top player, and he just literally wiped the floor with me. And he's like, yeah, just not a get good.
Yeah.
Because a get good would have been different.
Yeah.
He said, pick a bit different character. And I'm just like, wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's definitely hard to stick with a character after you get completely unavoidably fucked.
It's hard. It's absolutely hard. And there's not some low tiers are an uphill battle the whole entire way.
Absolutely.
The second you get off stage with Luigi, it's over.
Yeah.
You can try to mash B. I can mash B. But still, next thing you know, you get a shine to your face, and it's like, oh, all that work for, the 1/10 of a chance that my opponent messes up.
Yeah. I think that's especially with Melee, but I think in fighting games in general, if you're picking like a mid to low tier character, you have to just hope and pray that they are going to fuck something up.
So sometimes if you mess up, you're like, oh, okay, my opponent better mess up like 5 times worse than me, or I'm at a disadvantage for the rest of the game. Yeah, that's pretty much a low tier's life,
right? I feel like as a proud Dr. Mario main, who I took that because the first time I went to a tournament, I got absolutely shit on, and they were like, pick a top tier. And so I tried my hardest to play Falcon, and I was going to tournaments, and I was like, this sucks. I'm gonna play Doc again. I'd rather lose being a goofy idiot than win trying to play top tiers. Yeah, not having fun. Although Falcon was fun. I enjoyed my time with my mistress. I did. But I had to go back to who brought me,
Fair enough. But no. So I think, it's you. I didn't have the time to put in to get good with the character that I started with. So I said, I'm going to be decent with Falco and still have fun.
I think there's nothing wrong. I think there's a weird, like, I think in most esports, but I think there's a weird shaming culture of like, oh, you switched off your character, man. You're just giving up and picking Fox. And it's like, listen, man, like, I don't have 20 hours a day to grind Melee. Okay, man, like.
Yeah, and I think at least Melee's a little better about it because people are like, Fox is undeniably the best. Mm-hmm. Even though right now that's being disputed, but I'm not going to go there because we even have like Fox mains stepping off of Fox and moving to Sheik, and you're like,
which is insane to me.
You're like, what? I'm still trying to wrap my head around some of those like decisions. Which, when you look at it on paper, you're like, that does make sense. But you're still thinking there. You're going like, whoa, switching off of Fox, is a crazy something that I never, is like. We're in 20XX right now, You're not getting better than Fox. You're getting Foxes that know how to like quad shine on you, and you're going to switch off of a character with a quad invincible move. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'll never doubt. Obviously, like top players who are saying it, they understand the game on like a level that I'll never understand it, right? But I look. I go on net play, I link up with a Fox, he blips me 6 times, and I stop playing net play for the day. Like, that only happens with one character.
Exactly.
Like, so, I'm not, if there's a Sheik, I'm like, hey man, this is a coin flip. Like,
oh yeah. And that's the crazy thing is that, net play is really like, not just net play, but like character wise at all. Forgive my ignorance. Peach doesn't have a super top player right now. Besides my homie out in Europe. Trying to remember names right now.
Triff?
I'm doing terrible.
Triff
Triff.
Triff,
thank you.
The EU Peach.
Yeah. Triff's a great homie. Sorry, I'm a beer and maybe a shot in.
Hey, shout out to Triff.
And it's the end of the day. So, but Triff. Besides him, I'm trying to think. There's not really a lot.
I think the problem is that Peach just is. I think she's very under because I think there's like Keizu and like Ryobeat who are like on the cusp.
Yeah.
But there's no Armada. There's no like Leffen's got Fox. There's all these Falcons now. There's no Armada to keep the character going.
In Armada's prime, you would never argue that Peach was a bad character.
Yeah.
Because when you saw Peach in Armada's hands, you'd go, "Oh yeah, that's top tier.
Yeah,
that's
it's
absolutely
Armada,
top tier.
Yeah,
there's no question." And then to see him retire, which I'm glad he's doing good and he's speed running and doing everything. You're like, oh, maybe it was him. Maybe it wasn't just Peach. Yeah. And I never think it was just Peach.
Yeah.
But like you're having these characters, and I think that's why sometimes the calls or like calls to switch and stuff, it's like, well, maybe you can do something with a different character or not. Even he switched off of Peach.
Yeah.
So
so you said what's your kind of esports? Are you an esports guy outside of Smash, or is it kind of like a cursory thing, or
certain things, certain games? I follow League a little bit. I'm not as following as much as I used to. I used to follow just mostly for team wise, to have a team to root for.
Who's your team?
I can't get into shooting sports very well. It's really hard for me.
Fair.
But I watched a little bit of Rocket League for a while. So yeah, borderline. Not always. I'll really enjoy the speedrunning community. So there is that.
Who do you support? Who's your team? This is important.
Oh, who's my team?
Yeah.
My team's Panda Global.
Panda Global. Wait, Panda Global. They don't have a league team, I don't think. They're just FGC, no. I'm pretty sure, right? Okay,
they're just FGC.
Then you're good. You don't have to shill. Who's your league team?
Exactly. But I'm still going to shill. So most of the time when I'm watching, it really just depends on players and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to throw shade. Most of the time I'm supporting Cloud9.
Hell yeah, baby!
When it comes to games that Panda Global does not partake in.
I respect that. I love not only that it's a corporate answer, but it's an answer that agrees with my own, and that's what makes me happy as a human being.
Yeah.
Cloud9 to life, friggin' collab.
I've been supporting a lot of different orgs through the years. It just really depends. Like Space Station does a good job too with what they do within Rocket League and whatnot. I as a observer, I like watching a lot of different teams. Mm-hmm.
I think so. The reason I ask is because I think that's one of the most interesting parts about like comparing esports to traditional sports is that, so like you say, like, so in esports, it's all like, you know, there's characters and, you know, game mechanics and all that kind of, you know, all that technical bullshit. Right. But like that, like an Armada can take a character and completely change it. Or like, you know, I wish I could I can't think of a league equivalent or anything like that. But like they can take a character, completely change it. Whereas, you know, in like baseball, for example, like for the most part, someone's not going to come in with like a different bat and completely fuck up the baseball meta. Like,
yeah, with baseball, which I'm getting into this new thing called Blazeball. So I'm actually learning a lot about baseball as a trade-off of, you know, Lovecraftian paranormal worlds, vice versa. Yeah, look up Blazeball. There's a great YouTube video on it. BLASEBALL. Yeah, but you have people that do insane records, right, but not like personal feats, but not changing the game all out in certain things.
Right.
So yeah, no, I do agree with that, and that what makes esports very interesting. Mm-hmm.
So I'll be honest with you, I could sit here and talk Melee probably until we both collapse, because I love talking about Melee.
Melee's great, yes.
But the time that we're here together on this earth is fleeting. What a weird way to put that. We're
correct. I agree with that.
Long time. What a very amorphous way to put that. So,
you're lucky. We the last podcast I was on, we were going down a pretty good spiral of beliefs or something along that, and I was just like, oh boy, we don't want to go there, because the amount of like existential dread and thoughts that go through my mind, we don't even want to touch that. Let's talk about Melee.
That's what I'm here for. I feel like you can go to all different kinds of podcasts on the internet, different kinds of talk shows, and you can hear about their beliefs and their interests. I'm here to find out, what is your opinion on Kirby? That's what this show is about.
Oh, Kirby is fucking great, dude.
Damn right. Damn right.
I wish Kirby was the top tier, because I want to see Kirby beat up Fox on the stage at Evo. But I'm never going to get that world, and I'm going to cry every night because I'm never going to see that.
Hey, man, people thought Yoshi was like bottom 4 or whatever. And all it takes is one incredibly cracked Japanese kid to completely destroy a game. That's a fact. That's all it takes. It takes one cracked Japanese kid.
Well, you had the same thing with Tekken. You know, who thought Panda could win a tournament? Who thought Panda could win a national?
That run was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite events to watch ever. Like esports, fighting games, real sports. That just sitting there and watching this dude with Panda absolutely destroy the game was amazing.
Right? So like, yeah, it's crazy. Esports is crazy. Esports is fun.
I love esports, man. It's just like it's so different to regular sports. It scratches like this very weird itch of like that. Like you never know when you're going to see something like that happen. You never know when Panda's going to go on a crazy run. You never know, when this Yoshi kid from Japan is going to completely change the game,
Absolutely.
Loves it, me. But we are getting to near the end of the podcast, so we're gonna do the final segment of the show. It's my favorite part of the show. It's the whole reason the show exists deep down in my soul. It's called the lightning round.
Okay.
And the reason we call it this is because I feel like I feel like we have found out a lot about each other over the last roughly an hour. But if there's one thing that I've learned in my life, it's that the only real way to find out if you become best friends with someone is to do a random bullshit quiz on the internet.
That normally does the trick. Correct.
So I have a prepared list of this or that questions. Very simple stuff. I'm going to ask you as many as we can get through over the course of 1 minute. I'm going to compare our answers and see how close we are to being best friends.
Okay.
So I have my questions. I have my timer in front of me. If you're ready, I am also ready.
Here, wait. Let me change this to an overlay real quick to give him a shadow. Because he's pretty much done too. All right. I think I'm good.
It's so crazy that you did that as we were talking. Anyway, I have my timer ready. I have my questions ready. If you're ready to go, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
In 3, 2, 1. Cookies or cake?
Cookies.
Cats or dogs?
Both.
I'm with that. Computer games or console games?
Computer games.
Pop music or rock music?
Rock.
Stuffed animals or dolls?
Stuffed animals.
Pancakes or waffles?
Oh, waffles.
Nice. Hot chocolate or coffee?
Coffee.
Morning or evening?
Oh, evening.
Nice. Text message or call?
Text.
Libraries or museums?
Museums.
Ooh, nice. French or Spanish?
French? No, Spanish.
Spanish. Summer or winter?
Winter.
Theater or cinema?
Theater.
Love or money?
Love.
Books or movies?
Books.
And that is 1 minute gone. I am going to tabulate the score. First, normally this is the point where I let you do all your plugging, and I will definitely let you do that. But I just want to say, this looks phenomenal. I don't want to be that guy because we're on the podcast that I invited you to be on. But holy shit, you did this in the course of an hour, and it looks so good.
It's what I do, and I'm actually doing the final touches right now. So I'm about to make it look even better.
It's like it's funny because I literally watched you do it. Like I literally watched you draw a shitload of circles, and then I watched you color it in, and then I watched you do all the shading and the texture and all that. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, no idea how that happened.
I passed out and there it is.
I blacked out when we were talking about Melee, and now here we go. We got a beautiful Fat Yoshi ready for online consumption.
Yeah, this is probably going to go up after the show too, so it's going to be great.
Yes. Live exclusive. You can watch the process of this drawing of Fat Yoshi. I'm going to tabulate the score. While I do that, this is your chance, Justin. I want you to tell the people at home where they can find you, what you're up to, and what you want them to know.
Yeah. So you can find me on every social media as @JustWharton, JustWharton. I'm creating vaporwave art for the most part. I'm also doing a lot of classical paintings right now. My book is out, and it's just got cheaper as well. Cheaper in quotations because we were able to figure out how to make it more affordable for everyone. So right now it's sitting at about $50 with over 200 paintings, I believe. 4 to 5 years of my life's work all in there. I'm working with Panda right now. I'm making some cool stuff. I made this hat, which is really stylish because it is black on black.
It's very cool and incredibly hard to see.
It's very hard to see, but it is meant to be hard to see. It's meant to be stylish.
Very cool.
I also made this shirt.
He came ready.
There's a lot of cool stuff coming out of Panda. Please support Panda. They support me. On top of that, I'm posting a painting a day of Vaporwave at this moment. We are on day 30 through the Smash roster out of 82 82. I believe there's 82 characters in Smash right now, which is a lot of characters.
Which is an insane amount of paintings to do.
Which is an insane amount of paintings. That is pretty much my plugs. At the moment, I do believe you can find all my art at muffinbros.com, muffinbros.com, as well as my other artist friends who get supported through there. They're out of Texas. It's 2 dudes. Go support them. They're pretty neat.
Go support them. I love a concise plug. I must say, magnifique.
I've been doing it for a while, so
very good.
And I'm lucky. I'm mostly plugging the same thing all the time. I will plug that I'm planning by the end of the year to be done with my Street Fighter book.
Ooh.
I'm about halfway done with the Street Fighter 5 roster, sketch-wise, and I'm doing it different now. I'm not posting them per day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to launch the book and then do what I'm doing with the Smash characters.
Right.
But I'm not going to be ready for a while. Gives me the excuse to work in secret.
It also gives you at home the excuse to just go follow our man Justin at just WHARTON on all the social medias.
Correct.
I want to thank you so much for being on the show. It's been an absolute blast. Like I said, I feel like I could have just kept talking for a completely endless period of time. I want you to know that in the lightning round, you scored a final score of 10 out of 14, which is...
I think that's friends level.
That's at least a friends level. I don't think I would score that well with my actual best friends in real life. More importantly, you're a waffles guy. Done.
Waffles are good. It holds the syrup, which is all you can ask for in a dish.
That's what I've been saying. All these kids eating their sponge discs? Nuh-uh. No,
correct.
sir.
And also, before we end off, I will say soup. It is a soup.
What, a waffle is a soup?
No. Everything else you've asked all your other people on the show.
He did research.
It is I do research before I go on podcasts because I never want to be blindsided. It is a soup. And we're not going to even get into it. We're just going to leave it at that.
That's for the return episode. For when we do Let's Be Best Friends Redux Part 2.5 HD Remix.
Next year when it happens, when we have that podcast and our friend here, Cole, has blown up and is on the what is it? What is their network called?
Oh God, Panda Global is what it's called. When I get signed to Panda Global.
Yes, then we'll have the Redux.
Awesome. I can't wait. I want to thank you so much for being on the show. I want to thank everyone who's watching right now. If you're watching live here on twitch.tv/OldKingCake, we do these at least once a week, sometimes more, because as we discussed earlier in the show, burnout doesn't matter when you're trying to make it. I want to thank all the people who are also listening out there in the podcast world. If you want to give it a like, share, comment, subscribe, do all those cool algorithm things, I very much appreciate. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, you can rate it 5 stars, share it with all your friends. Also, we have a merch store as well. It's not quite as cool streetwear stuff, but it's just kind of fun, little quirky king cake stuff. If you like the logo that you see up here, it comes in pink, and I love that pink shirt very dearly. I wear it all the time. I want to thank our best friends Isabel Wing and Seth Feldman for the intro and outro to our show, and I want to thank all the people listening at home. I want to thank Justin one more time, and that's all the time we have for this week. So remember that your mom was your best friend at one point, so give her a call, and we'll see you next week.